So what's been up with y'all lately?
Shit, just got in from work.
Life. Work. Just work.
Life. That shit that ain't never peaceful.
Yup.
Always something happening. Somebody shit, somebody's drama, something else coming in your life. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I wish for a more peaceful time, man.
Yo, I got some good news though.
All right, what's
Yeah.
up?
So, as a door-to-door rep, right? Because I ain't gonna front. That's what I do. I go door-to-door for a solar company. So,
Uh-huh.
one of the hardest things for a door-to-door rep is when you go up to a door and a person got that Ring doorbell or that Living doorbell, whatever the fuck it is, right?
Yep.
Because
Okay.
9 out of 10 times, that's their way of like not having to deal with you. So
Hmm.
last door of the day, I go up, I ring the Ring doorbell, I talk to the person, I rebuttal them once, sign the motherfucker up through the Ring doorbell for the first time in my fucking life.
Damn.
Yeah. So I mean that's some good news because if you ask any other person that does door to door, they'll tell you straight up that's like the nightmare. I don't know,
Challenge now.
I'm just proud of it. Yeah.
No, it's all good, bro. Like, that's dope. I never had that. I did door-to-door sales for a week and I was just out, man. There wasn't no ring cameras back then neither. With no ring cameras, man.
That's
So
wild.
I can't imagine the dynamic where they won't even open up the door, but they'll still want to talk to you. That's weird. Like
Yep.
at that point, just don't answer.
I don't know how people do that shit. I don't.
Yeah.
What, door to door sales or
Not just door
ring
to
camera?
door on a constant basis.
I mean, this company pays me enough to where I'm more than willing to deal with this shit.
Oh yeah, there's money to be made.
Yeah.
Like, and there's always going to be new young people willing to do it. But there's a lot of money being made. But like the operation I was a part of kind of felt like a pyramid scheme. Like the people at the top was really getting paid, and
Yep.
you know, those of us at the bottom really wasn't getting it like that. I guess that's every workplace. So it
I
is what it is.
mean, not every place, but I've definitely been in companies where the people at the bottom that did the door to door didn't make shit, but the managers were banking.
Hmm.
Trust me,
Okay.
I've been through it.
Sorry, y'all. We're still sharing the show out over different platforms. So just give us a little bit. Normally, the episodes will be complete silence, but I thought, why not invite you into our small talk time where we're just catching up on what's happening in the world and each other's lives and all that stuff. So, you know, small talk time. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Everybody on the live. What's going on?
And as Niambi would say, share it on your platforms.
Yes, please share the video. Share the video. While we're sharing it, you should be sharing it. Like it, share it. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, do all that stuff.
Subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, whatever else you want to fucking do.
I'm just crafting a new.
Although
One last share. One last share. What's up, man?
although I do hear YouTubers nowadays instead of saying hit the like button and hit the subscribe, they're like smash the subscribe, smash the like button. Yeah.
I mean, it works. Smash all that shit. So, y'all, we got a pretty interesting and controversial show. Let me close the doors here. I should have done that before I pressed live. Give me 1 second.
Word, word, word.
Alrighty. So I'm wearing my grays. But yeah, so we got a pretty interesting and I don't know, controversial show. Everyone, if that's what we want to call it, it's a little controversial today.
Let's
So
get into this shit.
yeah, what's up, Troy? I know it's Friday. We are making Fridays at 8:30 Eastern, our regular time to do these shows. We are going to actually be around 8:30 because we're never really on time all the time. So look for it. But you know what's going on, Jasmine? What's going on, Troy? We got plenty of other people watching. Just ain't nobody commented saying hi, and that's cool. So welcome to yet another episode edition of the Men Like Us podcast. It's a show made for men by men. And, ladies, while we love you, just understand that the conversations had on this podcast will be are pretty much aimed to be palatable for men. So we will say things in a certain way and talk in a certain way that men will receive, men can identify with. And a lot of times that isn't something that's palatable to women. So please understand, this is just how we talk between guys. We're going to tell our God honest truth here today and really, be transparent with the brothers out there and just share ideas and thoughts. And, ladies, there is a little bit for you on the show. We do have a question for the ladies. So please stick around, those of y'all that are watching live, because I definitely want to hear y'all answers on this, but it's towards the end of the show. So today. Sorry, I'm just going all over the place looking for my banners and stuff. So today we are talking about dating stealth trans women. This is a show about men and our experiences. We are going to share our ideas and thoughts on the subject. As guys who are open, we are going to share the experiences of other men who have offered their experiences and stories inside our men's only Facebook group related to this subject. So should be pretty interesting. Should be a pretty interesting show. But, as always, I didn't actually say trigger warning. So offering up the trigger warning. Trigger warning. And then, all right, so we did main topic. So I'm gonna go just straight to the first question. Because when we talk about when people bring up stealthing with trans women and all that stuff, one thing that people ask, and I don't know how this question even comes up all the time, but some it's usually one of the guys. Some guy will throw out there, well, but what's the difference between stealthing and being DL? And obviously there's a difference. Obviously there's a difference. In my mind, there's a lot of differences because you're talking about people doing things that come from a completely different lived experience.
True.
Completely different perspective. These things are being done for a different reason. After doing a little bit of thinking, the only thing that I could think about to draw the two together really is, at some point, both groups kind of want to be. Both groups kind of are. I'm sorry. Both groups are both a stealth trans woman and a DL cis man. They're still doing what they're doing to fit into a world that doesn't accept who and what they are. Mm. So that's the only commonality I could find between the two. But outside of that, there's a lot of other things going on with the guys and dealing with their own relationship and being afraid of their world shattering because of how dating trans women is viewed. And obviously for women, there's a lot of safety reasons why women, want to control, who knows their tea and all of that stuff. And I'm sure there are other reasons that a lot of women have for stealthing as well. There are some women that just look, their identity isn't the main part of their life. And they just, they're just people, they just show up, they go to work, they do whatever. And it's just not a central thing that they talk about. It's just not a big deal to them. But this question just comes up all the time. And I'm just like, guys, we got to stop asking this question because it's there are big differences. There's a big difference. And let's be real, DL men, well, first DL men kill, but secondly, DL men actively harm the community in other ways outside of just murder. There's a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of trauma inflicted on women by dudes that are just, too afraid to be themselves. So, it is really imbalanced. It's not the same. I wouldn't say it's the same. And I haven't been seeing the comments here, but fellas, go ahead and if you wanted to chime in on this one. I just really wanted to just put this one to bed, finally. No, we could just jump to the comments because people are.
Oh, I thought Mike was gonna go, but
no, I'm trying to figure out how to.
I mean, there's women that want to be stealth, and that's their prerogative. As far as like me, I'm just not gonna put myself in a position of being DL.
But we're talking about the differences between stealthing and
Oh,
DL. We're not. That's
I
what we're.
mean, because
Watching.
DL is for the men, stealth is for the women. I
Yeah.
mean, like being a DL guy, that's being ashamed. Being a stealth trans woman is just a matter of like she's trying to live her life as just an everyday woman. She's not trying to tell people what her tea is.
And Katara, thanks for joining us
Yeah,
today. Katara says it's simple. It's quite simple. Being stealth gives you the privilege of a better lifestyle, in my opinion. Being DL is ashamed, and I'm not ashamed. It's just no one's business. The end.
that's what I'm saying.
You
Yeah.
know, and I think it could be argued that there are guys who are DL for the sake of having a better lifestyle.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I mean, in their minds, they're thinking, I don't want my life to change. Maybe there's a fear of change, but for whatever reason, I think that part of it, trying to fit in with dominant society and dominant society's expectations is really what's at heart for both of these groups. But like Katara points out, it's also for protection and safety as well. And that is like that's definitely where this road diverges because men don't have that. That's not a part of the formula when they're talking about being all that stuff. So
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
oh no, I was just saying most DL men that I've ever met, it's because they're ashamed of admitting their attraction. Though I mean, I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying most of them.
Of course, that none of that negates the shameless. They are ashamed, and there is a lot of fear, and there are a lot of people that aren't ready. And I was having a conversation about DL guys earlier, because one part of this really is, and that's a big part of why we do this show, to kind of like be an example and to show guys that there is a different way to live, there's a different way to be. Because before I met another guy who was open, about his attraction and living this life, I didn't even know it was possible. I didn't know this was something I could even pursue. Like, I didn't know I could live this way. And I know it sounds really stupid, but there's a lot of guys out there that just don't know a better way. They don't know any better. They think this is how life looks. I'm attracted to this group of women and I have to do these things in secret, and I'm going to do these things in secret and then live my, life that the dominant society wants me to live over here. So I'm still gonna have the wife, have the kids, and I'm still gonna, watch the trans porn in secret when nobody knows, or indulge with the sex workers when nobody knows. And like, this can't be my life. And it's, I'm just saying, like, there is a level of ignorance out there where guys just don't know that life could be better. They can actually truly be happy and actually fulfilled instead of like living a life of unhappiness while not being fulfilled. I know the comments are definitely picking up now, and I definitely don't want this to be the bulk of the show. This is just a starter, y'all. We got other things to talk about. So what do y'all think? Okay, let's see here. So Samantha, what do y'all think of trans women who are out in public, like those who need to know will know it's no one else's business but my partner, my family, and my doctors? Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's I'm not telling people to run around with fucking billboards or Jewish, World War II armbands or nothing like that. We're all we are doing right now, we were just confronting Katora, sorry. Katora. What we all I was doing was confronting this whole, conflation that people try and bring up when they talk about when guys are talking about when the subject of stealth women, stealthing come up with in the guy space. Sometimes a guy will say, well, what's the difference between that and DL? And I think there definitely they might be done for some of the same reasons, but they're still done for very different reasons, and they're just not the same. And guys out there listening, when you have that, when we have these conversations, don't try to conflate the two. Don't try and put them both together like they're the same, because they're not. That's not a good argument. It holds no water. So that's all we're really, that's all. That's my message to the fellas out there, brothers listening to this. Appreciate you taking that one in. But we're gonna go. I'm sorry, I'm losing my track in my show. So now here's the real question, fellas. So we're talking about dating women who are stealth, and when we're talking about that, and this is all from our perspective as men who are open. The real, the first big question is, are we as open, transamorous men willing to buy into a stealthing lifestyle? So what I mean by that is, there are relationships that I know of out there where, a woman, this guy's in a relationship with a girl, but she's like deathly afraid of anybody finding out her tea. And she's like so neurotic about nobody finding out that, that kind of got passed on to him. And now he's stressing about keeping the secret. And, anytime they go somewhere, they're like, oh my God, did anybody read her tea? Oh, like it's this big thing. And they're just like both working so hard to do this. And it's just like, if you enter in a relationship with a woman who is dedicated to stealthing, is that something you're willing to buy into? Because obviously there are some guys that are willing to, but as those guys who have put in cross certain milestones to be open and live in our truth, is this something that's really attractive to us? Is something that's really palatable to us? Something that we would be interested in doing?
Personally, like I get the want for safety. I completely respect that shit. But at the same time, like just from the example that has been shown, that's a lot of stress. Like not only mentally, but it'll also come physically as well. And if you're in a relationship with someone and they're stressed out to like no extent, and you start to pick up the same behavior, that whole relationship is going to be, I would say, toxic in my personal opinion. Not in a negative way as far as like just talking shit to each other. I'm just saying, like, as far as just mentally, it might be a little too draining for my personal taste. And I've always made it a very important topic to keep, I don't know, mentality, a very focused ideal in a relationship, like communication. I don't know what the fuck I'm just trying to say, like, as far as safety and all that, that's fine. I get that, but it's not my main prerogative to go around trying to hide this, that, and the other thing. I'm not going to tell everybody's business, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, that's too much stress, and I can't put that in my life. So I respect your business, just I don't think it's for me. I can't really do that. So
ooh, Ashley Hunter, you girl. Shit. Sorry, these comments is fire, y'all.
I'm not even reading them shit. I'm not even on it.
Oh my goodness. So I'll go through some of them. Ashley Hunter jumped in, was like, if you're worried about your T being clocked, you're not stealth.
Oh wow.
That's some hot tea.
And Tony says actually that puts a lot on him in the relationship. And so I want to share a story because I asked the guys about this in our men's only group earlier today. And one of the guys in the group who was married, he's married to a trans woman, living his best life right now. And he shared a story about his family related to this. But I can't show it, so I just have to read it off. So, all right. So, yeah, this guy, he commented in the group. He says, my brother is married to a transgender woman, and she forced him to be DL. When the secret came out many years later, the family felt betrayed and chose to turn their backs on them during a difficult time. The rift between them and the rest of the family has not been repaired, and most likely will never be. This is the same family that welcomed my Filipino transgender fiance, now his wife, into the family with open arms. They truly love having her as a part of the family. They even defend her when she is not around. Um, and that story right there really like surprised the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Really surprised. I would have never guessed that things could have ended up that way for anybody who was purely invested in keeping the secret, even from family. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, I mean the whole thing is like I don't believe in bullshit. So it's like I'm not looking to live my life as a lie just to protect somebody else's secret, so to speak. So it's not like I'm saying like, you know, a woman being stealth is invalid because if she wants to live stealth, that's her prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
But for me to go from, you know, kind of like hiding my attraction for a certain amount of time, you know, before I became more mature, to now being open about who the fuck I am and what my attraction is, I'm not trying to just revert backwards. Instead, I'd rather progress and move forward, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Damn it. Hold on 1 second. Um, so sorry. Yeah. So that's the real main point of all this is if a guy who's open like us, encounters a woman, obviously thinks she's beautiful, thinks she's a cool chick, whatever else, but she's heavily invested in being stealth with nobody, not even the family knowing, like not even not your friends, nobody knowing, period, and just like keeping that thing like an A and B thing. Um, at that point, I feel like, that transamorous guy who did whatever work he had to do on himself to be okay with himself and able to be open and not be ashamed of himself and tell his friends and family and like kind of have create this open and inviting environment. Like I feel it kind of feels like he is being forced to regress a little bit, like Mike was talking about. Like it feels like you're kind of being forced to regress to being DL. And it's just like, is this something that I don't know if this is something that a lot of guys who are like, hey, I'm open, I do this and that, like if they would be interested in doing. But also I guess another side of this, guys, when you're dating a stealth woman, you know, it's kind of a cheat in a way because, and when I say a cheat, I mean like in your development as a guy who's like, ready to partner with a woman in this community, because a lot of times that'll make it, that'll have you skirting getting to know, like taking any part in like LGBT culture or learning anything about the culture or about the community. Like at that point, he doesn't have to learn about any of that stuff because she wants no parts of it. So he doesn't have to learn about any of it. And he just gets to skip right over that chapter. Like he gets to skip right over being comfortable around, her other members of the LGBT community. Because there's a lot of guys that enter this space and like, yo, I'm just here for the trans women, this, and this. And then they get uncomfortable when gay men show up. Or they don't want to be around when, certain things, they don't want to go to ballroom. They don't want to be around they don't want to go to Pride. They don't want to be around certain things that are really, queer community. And it makes them uncomfortable and all that. Like they can still hold on to their homophobia if they're not forced to really, get past that. Because there are guys there are guys that are happy with being DO, that are homophobic as fuck, and they're happy to stay homophobic and just say, well, that's my woman, I don't want no parts of none of that stuff, and she's okay with me staying this way.
Yo,
Like,
I've actually seen straight dudes like get all kinds of uncomfortable around the butch
oh
queens.
shit, oh shit, what up, Roy?
I have too. Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of butch queens are cool as fuck. It's just, I've seen people that aren't transamorous or aren't within community, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm not comfortable around them. I'm like, dude, like they're human beings just like you, motherfucker.
And I mean, a lot of times when a dude is, I'm gonna just be real. From my experience, and y'all can share yours, but from my experience, when you show up as a real man and you're doing right by women in the community, a lot of the people around her ain't nothing but, gracious and happy that you're making their friend happy. Like, it is not an antagonistic environment you're walking in. These are people that are happy to welcome you with open arms because they love the fuck out of their friend. At least that's been my experience.
Yep.
Yep.
So, what's going on, Roy?
What up? What up? Just got
Shout
home
out
from work,
Philly.
man.
So the question right now, man, this is the first big one of it, but we're asking, and it's on the banner there, but are we as open transamorous men willing to buy into a lifestyle of stealthing for the sake of our partner? Are we willing to revert back to being DL for the sake of our partner? Is that something that is realistic for guys that are, quote unquote open?
Uh, yeah and no. I mean, it's all depends on it. All depends on the person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some people just wanna be private. Some people don't want to be out there in the open, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I always stated before, you ain't that person ain't gotta be like me and wear a shirt. That's fine. But but, but my thing is, once that person decides to tell his family and friends, that stealth shit goes out the window with that woman because they're automatically going to assume any person that he dates or brings in front of them, they're automatically going to think she a trans, and they're always going to have them questions. So
So
I
yeah,
think
I
trying to
mean,
play that.
no. That goes right to the next point. Does being openly transamorous negate stealthing? If everybody
Depends on
knows
it.
and they expect, is it even possible?
Right.
I mean, people out there answer the questions, whatever. But it's. I could just say that I have talked to I've spent I've talked to some women who they're just professionals. And when I mean like professionals, like they have like really nice careers, and it's like, yeah, well, nobody around me knows, and they don't need to know. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, fuck it, they're just your coworkers. They don't need to know all your fucking business. Fuck them. But but I've run into some that have lived their whole lives as like women, not trans women first, and it's like, but they were okay with me being who I was and me being out and open because at the end of the day, our worlds never really collide. Like this podcast or just my friends group, it doesn't cross into that person's world. But I've also had women be like, "You're a little bit too out there for me. I don't like that. I can't because like a relationship with you would never work for me because you're just too far out there." And I don't want a man that you know is known for you know dating trans women. Like I don't want a man that's open with it.
Then she can go the other way.
Of course, but I'm saying like these are things that I've run into, and I know other guys have run into that situation that call themselves open. Where they were just women that were like, nah, you're I don't want an open guy because I'm living stealth and nobody knows my tea, and you being open is a problem for that.
But what's their definition of open? Being open.
Having a history, other girls knowing, probably, you know, um, being in community with other men who aren't ashamed of themselves, other men who want to live in their truth. Um, Most likely showing up to the family with everyone in the family knowing your tea. Um, and that's all of that stuff is, these are the things that we're talking about with this certain kind of demographic. So, and we're specifically talking about guys like us, guys who are, not ashamed. They're not hiding it. We're not we're not running and cowering at the notion that somebody's going to find out that we dated a trans woman or slept with a trans woman or whatever. You know, does us being who we are really kind of negate that?
Kinda, yeah.
It depends.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just like, okay, so if it does negate this, like, is there a way for us to like still give women, because you know a lot of women are like, yo, nobody, and a lot of guys like this, it's an understanding in community for a lot of people in community that like the women control when their tea is, you know, when people know their tea. So like when we're open and everybody around us knows, like, is there a way for us to give her that option to tell her tea, you know, despite us being open?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Because our numbers are still small. Society's not comfortable with still comfortable with us yet. So it won't allow some dudes to remain low key, not so much open. So until we can get to that point, the women who want to be stealth, they're gonna have problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they do with DL.
And you know that whole DL thing is I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Our numbers are very, very small, and like I stated, like until we can get society to start respecting us, the ones that are open, the ones who want to start to date women openly but not be as loud, they won't be able to do that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I just, you know, these are the things I think about, guys. So just kind of wondering, like, is this even possible? Is this shit even fucking possible, man?
Yeah, it's just all in the time. It's just gonna be some time. It's gonna take time.
For sure.
That's why it's important for us to keep doing what we're doing.
Okay, well, look, I have I mean, speaking of being open and being the guys wearing the t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, and you know, just putting ourselves out there a lot of times, you know, I've heard a narrative that I've heard a narrative that like being too open like invalidates trans women's gender identity. So I want to put this question out there because this ain't a question that we can really answer. But I want to put this. We got some ladies viewing right now, and I want to hear from them on this one. So, ladies, true or false? A man being too open about his transamory invalidates a woman's gender identity. True or false? Get going in the comments. The comments already been hopping all show. Let us know what you think about that, because you know there's a thought out there that us doing what we do right now is actually doing harm. You know, Roy with the t-shirts and the TikTok is doing harm because we're being too out there and we're othering, you know, trans women and kind of separating them out. And you know that's what some people are saying.
I'm with Sabrina and Alexandra right there, and Grimaldi.
So, you know, that's just the way that some people feel. And I just really want to just, you know, hear what the ladies say, because that's the theory. And I'm like, is that really how people feel out here? Like, okay.
Amen, Monica.
I just, you know, if we do, so I want to acknowledge Samantha here, though, you know, because Samantha does have a difference of opinion. And she's saying, you know, says true and you know, well, it can. And I want to acknowledge that. But, you know, at that point, it's like, if that is the case, if people are feeling othered or, you know, it makes them not feel good when we stand up and stand out and try to be examples to other men, or try to just help other men know that you don't have to be DL. You can be better than that. And you can live differently. If that does do harm in that way, like, I guess at this point it's just like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah,
Like, I
but
don't know
dog,
how else to travel this road
yeah, but
and
dog,
reach men and change hearts and minds.
yeah, but dog, Sabrina is right. Like, basically, all that, like, oh, you're being too open and it's invalidating my gender identity. Like, she's right. It is most of the time used as another excuse to bash men.
Let's see here. And I'm sorry, there's some other people chiming in. Because I want to be frank about this. Doing this show and all the guys that are on it, what we do, who we are, how we are, it really comes from a good place. We all want to help. We all want to make the world a better place. And this is a community that is definitely vulnerable as fuck, that needs a lot more of attention. But then the men that interface with this community need a lot of attention because nobody's there for them. And we're there for them. Nobody gave a fuck about the dudes. And that's kind of why I was, wanted to do this thing and really be out there like I am.
Yeah, but
And
see, yeah, but see,
okay.
some Samantha right now is going back to saying like I only say some because transamorous guys will tend to the point where they fetishize the maleness and use it as a way to get the D while not being gay. She's saying transamorous men, but
Mm-hmm.
that is not the transamorous men. That is the DL or trans attracted guys that will do that just to fetishize in order to get the D without claiming to be gay. She's confusing the two now. So
Well, I don't know. This whole, like, look, we did a whole stream trying to do our best to differentiate and to make it very clear what transamorous is. But at the heart of it, transamorous is a self-identifier.
yeah, but it's
Like,
not
guys will,
this.
but I'm just telling you, guys will self-identify as transamorous, and a guy can come in off the street and just say, well, I'm transamorous, and use it like we talked about before, use it as a tactic to get some ass without doing any work on himself. He's still, a sex-driven fetishist, and there's nothing stopping him from saying, hey, I'm transamorous. And then, sadly, he ends up screwing over one of the women in the community.
But
And,
that's
she thinks it's one thing, and he's completely something else. And let's be real, gaming motherfuckers ain't new.
mhm.
Like, people
but
have been getting gamed and lied to since the book of Genesis.
but this is why it's important for the girls to understand the difference and call it out when they see it.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, and I feel that, definitely the community already does a really good job, from what I understand. Does a really good job at sending out notifications, alerts, rumors, whatever, things about people's, reputation. So,
Yeah, but obviously some of
all right.
these girls didn't do the homework and know. you know.
Well, I mean, it's while they say it's a small community, it's bigger than a lot of folks actually want to admit. And, there are just social circles that don't collide, really. I'll be glad when y'all movie come out. Well, here's the thing. I came across, somebody is making a series about, like, it's called like Transamorous something. Like, they put out the trailer for it and they revealed like the team behind it, and it's all women. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's gonna be a
So
bad
we're
botch.
making, I mean, pretty much we're making a movie or a video or a series with the man that we want to fantasize about. It's pretty much, we're doing fantasy again, people. We're doing Tyler Perry movies. Tyler Perry characters are
Uh,
not real.
I have a bad feeling about this one.
No, it won't be bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be bad. I just don't think it's gonna be. I think it's just going to add to a fantasy, and it's going to be a little unrealistic. And I mean, just from what I've seen by the team, I'm like, so nobody on this team knows anything about Transamorous Men. Okay,
Mhm.
I forget the name of it, and I forget the IG account that was like supporting it. I just randomly came across it when I was going through followers. Um, I have to find it again. But yeah, they got like a trailer or whatever. Like they're trying to get funded, but it was just like the whole team is dudes. And I know, we all know damn well that if there was another movie about trans women and no trans women were used to consult on it at all, even Secret Society got Amaya Scott. Whether she stayed on or not, they still thought enough. Maybe we should bring somebody who knows what this demographic that we're trying to portray on TV actually is about.
But that's the thing; they didn't even use Amaya Scott's like recommendations and anything like that. Like they completely went their own way.
Either way, they still hired her and paid her, and they took it. They took in her advice, but they didn't even this new project isn't even doing that much. But I'm not going to demonize this project because of that. Because let's be real, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of trans content creators that talk about transamorous men and don't include us in the conversation either. So there's that, which is why people get upset. Like, well, we need women on the show. I mean, you got all the other content creators out there that are giving you the woman's perspective. We are dudes. So anyway, I guess we went way left for that one, but I just want to hear what the women had to say on this. Like, is this really invalidating what's going on here? Because like I don't want to be a part of the problem. That's never been my intention in that way. But you know, it's just I had to ask.
9 out of 10 women said false.
Yeah. And Samantha wasn't 100%, you know, true on it. You know, there's nuance to that. So I guess true and false doesn't include a lot of the nuance in everybody's conversations. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's I'm sorry, let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna call that one out. I just want to make sure if there was anything else here that I had, but I think we got through the whole conversation, guys. You know, it just really, men listening out there, this is just a part of the experience. You will run into women that are more dedicated to keeping their secret than you are. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know how you handle that. I've never gone through with anything like that. I don't know anybody who has. Who has actually like going through it and stayed in it, but you know, all I can tell you is just do what's comfortable for you, and if something feels like it's just like too much trouble, or maybe that's not the right word, but if I'll say it like this, if it's something that doesn't jive with your core philosophy, then it might not be the fit for you, bro. I know she looked good. I know she's real pretty. Heck, she may even buy one round of drinks or something. She may seem like she's that one, but you know, if that's not something that you feel like you can do, don't feel pressured to, and acknowledge the red flags early, because you're going to be kicking yourself at the end of that relationship that you didn't acknowledge those red flags. You ignored them and kept going, and you're going to be kicking yourself later.
Or also, be in a relationship with a person who is going to accept you and you accept them. Mm-hmm. So if you can't accept each other for who you are, fuck it.
I mean, really, with this one, it might be a situation of this person just doesn't accept themselves.
That's it.
But
that's
I don't want to psychoanalyze nobody. I think I'm probably already did something like that already, but whatever.
Not both. Facts are facts. Facts are facts. If she can't accept who she is, how the hell is she going to accept who you are?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's just, it's a part of the journey. It's part of the human experience. And, you know, I think a lot of us have things to work on. And it's funny because, you know, I'm a big guy. I'm never going to be a skinny, super, super skinny dude. So, you know, there are women that are like, hey, you know, I like big guys. It's just, I'm fine with your stomach, whatever else. And you know, they're fine with it, and it's not a problem to my partner. But for me, I'm always going to look at it and not think positively about it. So, you know, that's work I got to do on myself, but I don't let that feeling get in the way of my relationships, because if I believe a girl likes me for who and what I am, like, I'm comforted in that, and knowing that I don't have to change for her. I can change for myself, but I don't have to change for her. So like that's where I want to be. And I think that's where a lot of folks want to be, is where they feel accepted. But yeah, I know dysphoria is a motherfucker. I get it.
Yep.
But yeah, hey y'all, that's all I got today. We got a hell of a lot of promotion to do here. Just to get one last, please everybody share the stream, subscribe on YouTube. Please like, share all this stuff. Follow us on Twitter. What is Men Like Us Pod. Nope. Subscribe on YouTube. Get on Clubhouse. And last but not least, we do support trans women on the show, believe it or not. But I have to ask that everyone, helps my friend out here. My friend, she could use a little help right now. She is just going through some tough times, and she has a GoFundMe that I'm going to pull up. I'm pulling up as we speak. But, she's a really dope chick, and she could absolutely need your help. Whatever you can give would be greatly appreciated. So I'm bringing it up right now. Sorry, I didn't have this done ahead of time, but yes, my friend Stacey Monroe, fellow Texas resident, could use your help. So please donate. Campaign is titled Trans Latin X Woman Needs Help. You can find it on her. You can find a link to this campaign on her Instagram account, the Stacey Monroe on Instagram. But please. Ladies watching right now, help your sister out. Throw her $5, $10, whatever you can spare. She just needs a little help right now. And this is not the first time we have advertised a GoFundMe for one of the women in the community who can really use some help. So, I am happy to help out my friends and help out people I know. So by all means, please donate. Please donate. And with that, we are also promoting some other podcasts. As always, please listen to the Box Number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk with Aeon and the Lioness. As always, check out the Real Talk podcast with Mike Brooklyn. Check out Marsha's Plate, Black Trans Podcast. And, go check out the OG podcast, Trans Talk for Men. That was my very first podcast. It was a very early podcast, but it's a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And ladies, I would say just stay away from that one. But fellas, listen to it. It's for you.
Yeah.
There's some things said on there that the ladies be like, wait, what? So, we said it was think of it like, just raunchy humor made for men.
Think of it like a male kiki.
There you go, a male kiki session. That's what it is.
No,
that's what it was. We were just chilling, talking shit. So, yeah. The ladies can relate. They know what a key is. It's the whole key.
Yeah.
So,
key.
Yeah, I can't with y'all. I can't.
Hey, look, we had some good conversations on there. We was talking about we had a good conversation about size queens. It was like, what the fuck is up with all this size queen shit? Like, everybody want a 12-inch dick, ignoring the fact that average is like 6 to 8 inches. They call it average for a reason. Most people got it. That's why they call it average. Kind of like average median salaries. Like most people make around $50,000. That's why it's average.
I know a lot of people ain't making that though.
There are a lot of people that don't make that as well. So, but we talked about size queens and sharing funny stories. My former co-host, his girlfriend came on the podcast and talked about the time where she called her brother like jerking off on top of the washing machine. And I don't know what the fuck he was doing I don't know why that's where you go.
And I'll be honest with you.
to jerk off.
Yo,
I'll be honest with you. I lost count of how many times she said, "Talk to you never."
Oh yeah. No, Natalie
like a
was
Cali
hilarious.
girl.
We got to have her on this show. She's
I missed all this.
my friend Eric's fiance is a whole ass fucking character. She's dope as hell though. So, but yeah, we had some good stuff on there, and again, we have some interesting stuff coming up on this podcast. So. We got some new guests coming on, and we are establishing live shows every Friday evening. We will do our best to make Friday evening a thing. So around 8:30, we're going to try to go at 8:30, but we may be 10 to 15 minutes late. So everybody out there listening, if you want to catch us live, YouTube, Facebook, around 8:30, we're going to have some dope shows. I brought a producer on. We're going to have some interesting topics, and by all means, we're going to keep this conversation going. We talk about this kind of shit all the time, but when we do this, it's a lot of trans women involved too, because we talk like this on Clubhouse. So join the Men Like Us Club on Clubhouse. We there a couple times a week. It's a great peaceful space where we converse with it's men, women, having respectful conversation. We're not going at each other. There's no negativity, ain't no toxicity there. It ain't no, well, women do this, well, men do that. Ain't none of that. All y'all men, ain't none of that. All y'all women junk. It's just peaceful, respectful conversation. It's a mutual respect for everybody in there, and it's a really dope, safe space. So by all means, join us, Men Like Us Club on Clubhouse. You will see. You will see our friends. You will see both mics there. Roy gets in there once in a while. Sabrina. Who else? Troy's on there.
Quiet on that too.
Ray be on there. I'm trying to think of like people who have been on this podcast, people that have been commenting that people would know. Regular names, but yeah.
The homie Trail gets on there sometimes.
Oh yeah. Trail gets on there once in a while. We had to drag him on there, but we're gonna do another one of those Clubhouse big rooms as well. We're gonna partner up with another club, and we're gonna do another conversation because there's a lot of people out there with questions. There's a lot of people that know nothing about the trans community, and they know much less about guys like us. And there's a lot of people that want to know. They want to ask us like, hey, why do you do it? What's going on? Like they want to. Don't you feel gay sometimes? Like, how did your family feel about this? Like, there's a lot of questions out there. There's a lot of people that just don't know. And I'm here to give them some answers. I'm here to interface with folks because really what it's about is changing hearts and minds outside the community as well. Because that's the majority of people out there. Those are the people that are going to help their family members understand some shit because they just learned some new shit.
But just to let people know, when it comes to Friday, I'm just gonna preempt motherfuckers. Look, if I'm on the show on a Friday and it goes about 15, 20 minutes late, blame my ass because of the fucking train taking forever to fucking get to my stop.
There you go.
So blame the MTA.
Blame me. Nope, blame me. Because I get off at 9 on Fridays.
Okay. Right. Hashtag blame the MTA.
Nah, it didn't. No, oh no, you don't understand Philly's traffic coming from work, bro. You don't understand, man.
Billy,
they do construction at night. There might be an accident, man. You just never know, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Philly, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah,
it's just crazy, bro.
Yo,
crazy. I don't know how you do that shit.
Yo, but you gotta understand, this is the New York City MTA. Motherfuckers be jumping on the tracks.
Yeah.
Philly's worse. There might be a dead body on the tracks and they stop the train.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, in New York City too.
Well, we're not going to have the war of the mass transit system since a lot of us non-northeastern cities don't have it. But Michaela just dropped a bomb because the girls were talking about average size, and now there's a different opinion of what average size dick is, and now I dropped a little thing about size queens for my last podcast, and now Michaela just said it's the size kings for me.
Actually, she's right. You know, D cups, double D cups. I love them all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh well, you know, shit.
Yeah, yo, and don't get mad at me.
Muting those men out.
Yeah, but don't get mad at me. I'm just replying to the girl's comment. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just feeding into her, you know, trolling or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, Michaela,
Yeah.
Michaela just be bringing the heat all the motherfucking time. That's just her thing, which is why she is now on the Men Like Us team. So she's, you know, helping us out, helping us keep things spicy.
I'm just saying, I don't need the girls getting mad at me over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now, see, now we're talking. But see, here's the thing, though. The size kings is, I'm not gonna lie, that's just really like, that's super fetishy, yo. Sorry, guys out there, men out there, if you say you require your woman to have a certain size penis, that's fetishy as fuck. There's no nice way to put that shit. There's something off there. I just don't understand why anybody cares. I don't, unless you're a bottom, maybe if you're a bottom. I mean, there are guys out there that are bottoms, but maybe if they're a bottom, they care. But I don't know. I'm just looking at this like, why are we doing this?
I'm not guys, a bottom. I'm not a bottom, so I don't give a fuck.
Size kings. That's the whole last thing. But you know,
hashtag don't give a fuck.
There you go. Hashtag nobody should give a fuck. But with all that said, fellas, we are wrapping this one up for real this time. So where can they find you, Mike Brooklyn?
You can find me on Twitter at Mike Brooklyn. The Real Talk podcast on major streaming platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, many more. So go check it out. Chris was actually on the most recent episode.
Word. Roy, where can they find you, man?
Instagram, Royal _smokes one, and TikTok, Royal Smokes.
Michaela, I'm gonna need you to stop throwing these bombs in my comment section. For the people that's listening, she said blacktgirls.com was popular for a reason.
Yo, Michaela.
Oh my God, no.
Wow,
yo, Michaela, unless you're throwing out free passes, don't be advertising.
R.I.P. Ashley Hunter.
Definitely R.I.P. to Ashley Hunter, yeah.
Wow, Black Girls is popular. I was only looking at it because it was black women. Like they, you know, the porn is very segregated. So,
like I said, unless she's giving out free passes for that site.
Stop. Oh yeah. Sorry, we're not.
Hey, Chris, end this now, man, before it get worse.
Yeah, right. Before this devolves into another conversation about dick. We're just gonna let this one go. So, with that being said, y'all, we'll see y'all next time. What's up?
It's not the MTA. We ain't hopping the D.
There you go. We're good. So yeah, see y'all next time. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see y'all next Friday. That's right. Hashtag TS Tops, Michaela. TS Tops save lives. According to Michaela, that's her thing. That's not me.
Shit.
The thoughts and opinion of Michaela is not the thoughts of opinion of the Men Like Us podcast.